Hi everyone, my name is Leah Kopke and I'm a 3D motion design freelancer. I also have a podcast where each week I cover another 3D modeling tool for Cinema 4D. Hello and welcome. Today we're going to go over the knife tool for sculpting inside of Cinema 4D. So let's go ahead and get started. So here we are inside of Cinema 4D. The first thing that I'll do is I will drop a plane into our scene. I'm going to increase the number of segments to 100 by 100. And in order to make this editable, I'll hit the C hotkey. You can also press this button down here. It does the same thing and makes a mesh editable so that you can adjust the vertices, edges, and points. Now, I like to work in the sculpting layout over here, so I'll click this button here. And now we've changed from our standard layout to our sculpting layout, and I have my brushes over to the left side. You can see that our knife brush is right over here. You can also find these in other layouts under the mesh menu. If you navigate to your brushes, you'll see your knife brushes right here. And this is also so in the standard layout if you prefer working within the standard mode. So here we have our brush. And let's go ahead and get started. We can click on our objects tab right over here. It's left of our sculpting layers. And with that done, let's go ahead and show what this tool actually does. So that's if I just drag my brush across. If I hit Control, it'll do the reverse. So what this brush is actually doing is two things. It is pushing the surface and it is pinching the surface. So it's pinching these vertices together and it's also pushing the surface either up or down. And that leads into the settings that are unique to this brush that are different from the other brushes. If we were to click on the settings here, the settings tab, and we go all the way down to the bottom, you'll see this option pinch and push. Now these are unique to the knife tool. I've gone through all the other settings for the basic tab and the other settings in here, as well as the settings for the stamp already in another video because those are the same for most of the brushes. So if you are interested in learning that, I'll leave links to those videos in the description. But focusing on what's different with this tool is the pinch. So I'll actually show the differences between these by reducing one of them to 0 and then showing what the other one does. So I'll decrease this push to 0 and I'll increase the pinch to 1 and you'll see what that does. So it's pulling those vertices together. But it isn't really raising and lowering the surface like we were doing before because that's what the push is controlling. So you can see those coming together. If I take our pinch to 0 and our push to 1, and increase it all the way, and then I do something similar, you'll see that now it's very similar to the draw brush actually in a sense. And if I hold Control, it's just pulling the surface in the opposite direction, doing the inverse. And you can also click this button here to invert it, but I think it's easier to just click the Control button. That would be Command on a Mac if you're a Mac user. So that's basically the difference. And then you could choose a combination between these, like I could choose 0.7 push and 0.2 for the pinch. And then do this again, and I can customize this brush a little bit with those settings there. So that's really cool. Now the other thing that's unique to this brush is the modifiers. If we enable our modifiers, we can see what other brushes are available. Now if you're starting to become familiar with brushes and you've watched the other episodes, you know that modifiers are a way to mix other brush capabilities with the brush you are currently using. So it's like sculpting with two brushes at once. So I could sculpt with the smooth and the knife together. I'll be using a combination of the smooth and the knife brush together. So it looks a little bit different, and then you can adjust the strength here. Right now it's at 20%. If I increase this to 100%, it's 100% using that smooth brush along with the knife brush. So whichever one I check of these on, it'll affect it. We've already gone over the draw brush, so you know how that one works. We've gone over the smooth brush, so you know how that one works. I'll leave links to those in the description below if you're new and this is the first episode you've watched. There's the pinch. We are going to go over this, but now you pretty much have an idea of what the pinch brush does. It pinches the surface together, very similar to the knife brush, except the knife brush also pushes the surface. So the knife brush is good for creating creases, actually. Inflate, we're going to cover in the future, but you can mix any of these brushes with the knife brush by just checking these on, and then you can control how much they're affecting the surface with the percentage here for the strength. And that just about covers what the knife brush does and how it works. If you have any questions for me, please feel welcome to leave them in the comments below. And thank you so much for taking the time to 3D model with me here on Ambient 3D Animations. If you are interested in learning more 3D modeling tools and seeing the next episodes that come out, please hit like and subscribe so that you'll be notified when the next one comes out. And I hope to see you here next week here on Ambient 3D Animations.